Hello, welcome to Mortgage Minutes. This is James Bullock, your loan officer here at Waterstone Mortgage. And today I am going to go over the win of the month for the month of June 2022. Okay, here at Waterstone Mortgage, I'm a licensed loan originator. We are a mortgage bank, so we can do direct loans, meaning that we will process them and fund them and potentially service them as well or sell them to our investors. We also can broker loans where we basically are the ones that will process them, but another company will fund them. So we have to follow their guidelines. That's more, outside the box. Could be like a non-qualified mortgage or something a little bit more unique in that situation that doesn't fit a typical loan. And then we also can do portfolio loans. That's where we hold them in our banking channel. That would be if someone's trying to buy like 5 investment properties at once and get one loan for all 5 properties. The portfolio loan could be one of the ways to make that work. Or as well, another example is we have our Community Heroes program, where if you're in the community, such as a teacher or like a fire department, we have programs where you can go as little as 0% down. Those are channeled in our portfolio loan program as well, and that's how we can make them work. So in overall, we have over 150 programs available. So if there's any way that we can make something work, we'll do it. Typically here at Waterstone Mortgage, if we're not able to do it, typically nobody else is. But what I do to stand out is if there's anything I can't do, is I'll find you a solution. There's somebody that can and provide that to you. I'll take it a next step further, because I know when you're buying a house or trying to refinance, it can be kind of hectic to trust that that person's going to take you all the way through to the finish line. So if I can't do it, I find out as quickly as possible and send it over to somebody that can. That's the type of integrity that I work with. I handle with everybody the same way. Now, the win of the month for June is a very particular story situation. It's a buyer, a family, husband and wife with 8 children. They had to buy a house, and their credit scores were good, but their debts were pretty high, right? And their debt to income ratios were too high to match on a conventional loan. And so the conventional loan is a government sponsored loan, and then you have what's called FHA, which is an actual government loan. An FHA loan will actually give you more leniency as far as the debt to income ratio, their percentages go. For example, you could go up to typically about 55-56% on the debt to income ratio, which is all the income you make against all the debts that report over to the credit bureaus, such as credit cards, student loans, auto loans, and the future mortgage estimated payment as well. Conventional loans don't like to be anything over like 48% typically. They can let you go to 49% in some cases, but at 50, it's a hard stop. So for this family, they needed to go FHA because their debt to income ratio was a little bit high. And FHA, it's a government loan. They are a little bit more strict on the work history, on like the taxes. They want to make sure you get a solid 2-year work history, and in this case, the win of this month and why I'm sharing this story is it took us a little bit extra work to clean up their story and figure it out, right? Because when you're buying a house, the buyers, for example, will say, oh, I was working at X company June of 2019 to May of 2021. And that's what they think it was, right? Because that's their recollection. What we have to do what's called a manual verification of employment to find out exactly those dates, because FHA guidelines require us to have a complete 2-year work history or to explain any gaps. They don't really like any gaps of 6 months or more on an FHA loan, and so we have to be really careful to line that up. The reason why this is the win of the month is with them, we had to take a little extra care to line that up with them, to do the manual verification of employment, to get their work history all lined up. And then also on FHA, they're pretty strict on sourcing the deposits and the money that someone's going to use to buy a house. So we closed on time. In fact, we closed same day that they were trying to close. But on our side, me and our processors and underwriters, we were working probably the same amount of time if we were doing like 4 files on this one file. I'll call a file like a transaction. And the reason why we had to do all of that behind the scenes is to make sure it would all line up to what our investors needed it to be. Our buyers this whole time were giving us the best information that they could. They were all behind us. They knew that we would make it work. Some people, of course, were always, you get nervous sometimes when you're buying a house. Like, are we good to go? Are we not good to go? And there was at one point where it was almost a coin toss, where you basically flip a coin and see if it's going to get accepted. We found a way to make it work. We made it work. We did it in a timely manner. And that's why this message is important to all real estate partners that either work with me directly or ever considering us as a future lending partner, is we find a way to make it to yes. We do whatever it takes. We don't complain. We don't push the file back, and we don't say no unless we truly can't do it. So what we'll do, if it takes us a couple hours, a day, is I will dive in and find the way to yes, and then we'll start bridging that gap. And if we can make it work on our side, we do everything we absolutely can. We will debate or, question any type of underwriting guideline to make sure we're on the same page. We will decipher these guidelines to make it in a way that our buyers can understand what's needed of them. In this case, our buyer's agent was so grateful for the work that we did in finding a way to explain how these guidelines are, these conditions, right? Because an underwriter will condition a certain file. They don't really break it down as far as how to interpret it to the buyer. They just condition it per what the guidelines are. And then it's our job, mine and the processor, to then water it down so the buyers understand. Well, we needed a lot of letters of explanation in this situation, and the buyers had no clue how to do that. So we guided them and asked them questions kind of to fill out what that situation would be, and it all worked out in the end beautifully. Our buyers were able to get their keys. The buyer's agent was able to close on this. The listing agent was extremely happy. She was on vacation, and she trusted that we were able to make it work. And that's why this message is going out. So you can take, if you have any pre-qualified buyers and another lender and you're a little shaky on if they can make it work or not, in this market today, almost all transactions get a little bit hairier now based on rates and guidelines getting restricted and tighter. You want to use somebody that you can trust that will either get it through or find a solution. And that's where you can get that with me. Give me a call or email me anytime. My email here is listed, and my direct phone number is here as well. I'll have it in the description below, and we're here whenever you need. Thank you for chiming in, and follow and subscribe for more. Take care.